I'm Tanya Steele, editor-in-chief of Epicurious.com, and you're watching Around the World in 80 Dishes. Today we're going to beautiful Italy, where we're making a risotto. Risotto is essentially a rice stew, or just a perfect type of a rice dish. And we're making it with Heinrich Rapp from the CIA. Now, chef, risotto is one of those dishes that home cooks are very intimidated by. They think, I can't make it, it's too, you've got to stand at the stove and stir and stir and stir. In actuality, it's probably one of the most foolproof dishes you could ever make, right?
Correct. But the hard part is the timing, I find.
But even with the timing, if you screw up the timing a little bit, it still comes out okay. It's amazing.
It comes out, but the real Italian risotto is a little runny at the end. Mm-hmm. And like we call it al dente.
Yes.
To the tooth. So in the very middle has to be a little bite to it.
Yep.
And the rest has to be nice and creamy. And it's usually a little runny, and then it's so hot coming out of the pot, you usually eat it from the outside in. So we go with the spoon round and eat it. And it cools down. It's the coolest spot, so we eat it right there. And as soon as you let that sit, it gets thicker and thicker and thicker. Before you know it, you can turn the pot over, nothing comes out. And that's when everybody gets panicky, So
right.
Straight cooking, and if the people are here ready to eat, that's the best scenario.
Okay, so let's get started.
So we need to put a little bit of butter in, maybe one of those cubes.
Yep.
So half of that butter goes in the beginning, and we need to coat the rice with some fat.
Right.
We toast the rice, so and we kind of start to look for the color when this middle corner comes nice and white, and it's kind of ready. We don't really want any color. We don't want to brown it, really.
Yeah.
We just want to toast the starch around it. And then the other half of the butter we're going to use at the end and fold it in.
To finish.
To make it a creamy, delicious thing.
Now, if you were going to add onions to your risotto, this would be the moment to do it.
This would be the time.
Yeah.
Fine chopped onions, shallots. More people like garlic, a little shallots, small amount of garlic. This is the time you would saute them blonde.
Until they're translucent, right?
Correct. So we want to put that in before the rice or the butter gets brown. So we look beautiful there.
Yep.
And we stir that. And we want to coat the rice with fat. And that can take a half a minute or so until the rice is brown and coated.
And this is one of the crucial steps about making risotto, is that you do need to coat all the rice with the fat.
We call that toasting of the rice. And it's a part of the ritual, so-called. And then we have an option. We can put some put wine in it, some put stock in it. So we're going to deglaze with a little wine as soon as that happens. And we chose today to put a little saffron in it.
Oh, yes.
This is real saffron. Some people will call it risotto alla Milanese.
With the saffron?
With the saffron in it, but...
So you could do white wine, water, stock.
Stock.
Right?
Usually stock.
Yeah.
So we're going to put some stock in.
And the stock really does need to be at least warm, right?
Correct. Otherwise, it takes way too long for that to come up and heat and then get creamy. So
is that the reason?
we preheated that.
I see.
And we add it in stages.
Right.
Most recipes will tell you put 1/3 of the fluid in, stir it, make it creamy, then add the second, add the third. But at the very end, we always go by eye.
Yes.
So we want that final thing. So there are times I use a little more. If you delay a little bit and let it sit and the customers aren't ready, it gets
the
almost too
customers
thick.
in your house, right?
And they're not sitting and ready to eat.
Right.
This thing gets thicker and thicker and thicker. So I usually just hold, wait till they come, add a little more stock, finish it back to that creamy consistency, serve. And then, of course, the cheese at the end will bind that to a little bit.
Right.
You might as well add this.
Oh, the saffron.
So saffron can be added different ways. So we added saffron whole, and we can see how it starts to bleed in yellow. And then we can start to smell. But that shows you that there's real saffron in it. So maybe you can add a little salt to it.
Okay.
Because I don't think the stock is very salty at all.
Okay. Should I do a little more?
Yeah. Then we add a lot of pepper to it. All right, here we are. We're almost there.
Yep.
It's getting nice and creamy. Maybe we'll give it a last try, see if the salt is correct. And then we might have to add a little more salt, maybe a little more pepper, and see if this thing is...
Maybe
A bit more? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
It's about good.
Okay.
A little more pepper?
Yeah.
Great.
Beautiful.
Okay, now we pull that off a little bit
Okay.
and we start to put some butter in it. And that's going to help make creamy, silky, and all this. The recipe calls for more butter, but nowadays I just add butter, I taste it. If it tastes good, and necessarily don't put all of it in.
Right.
If the dish needs the help, we maybe put all of it in, but I don't really want to put too much fat if we don't need it. So let's put a little bit in it. Maybe we can taste it quick, and then we finish with the cheese.
Okay.
And that's it.
Beautiful.
Tutti bene.
Tutti bene. Okay, should I go ahead and pour that in?
Put some cheese in, about half of it. So
And
to
what is
start
it? What
off
kind
with.
of cheese is this?
It's Parmesan. So there's many Parmesan, all these Italian cheeses, Cocoa Asiago can go well. Even the creamier cheeses, the fresher cheeses, they could go in there. Talaggio could go in there.
Oh, it could, Talaggio.
It's really nice and creamy. But of course, stronger in taste. And then it's kind of like blue cheese.
Right.
People love it or they hate it.
Right.
You know, Talaggio, if people don't like that strength, Parmesan is safe for...
Yeah, I mean, with risotto, it's such a mild dish. You don't want to overwhelm it with the strong cheese, I think.
Okay, I guess we have the creaminess achieved. Maybe give it a final taste, and we can dish it out.
Well, maybe I'll taste it on the dish.
Okay, great.
I believe you know what you're doing. Wow. That's quite a helping.
See?
Yeah.
So this should be a little bit runny, and that should go out and be served immediately, basically.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to serve myself immediately.
And it should be nice al dente. The flavor should be great. The finishing with cheese. And nice glass of wine, a little salt in boca or something. Also buco with that. How can you go wrong?
You can't go wrong. No. Well, Chef, thank you so much for showing me how to make risotto.
Welcome.
So great.